Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video for Friday, May 16th. If you join me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over my core picks. It's going to be one pitcher, four hitters. It's going to be based on a combination of past performance versus their respective opponent, as well as some recent history. And then after that, we'll get moved over my cheat sheet and talk about my top GPP teams to stack for Friday's slate overall. In the morning, I'll be listing my early morning weather report that will have any game that does have a double-digit chance of rain or higher, and then I'll be listing as many of these starting lineups as I can get to throughout the afternoon and early evening down in that comment section as well. So definitely make sure that you are checking up down there for all that information, especially as we do get closer to lock. But without further ado, we'll get started with the core picks. We're going to start off at the pitcher position with Jack Flaherty of the Detroit Tigers. He's $8,700, averaging 27.5 fantasy points per game so far on the season. Been a little bit struggle as of late for him. So if you don't want to play him, there's a lot of different options out there for this slate overall, but he has really good history versus the Toronto Blue Jays in the past. He had 2 starts against them in 2024, and he finished with 41 points against them in both those starts. And if we look at what he's done so far on the season, only the one win, and the ERA is at 4.61. So it's a little bit higher than we like to see. Obviously, that fantasy points per game a little bit lower than we like to see at the same time as well, but could be a potential value at $8,700. Once again, if you don't want to play Jack Flaherty, there is a plethora of pitching options on tonight's slate overall. So definitely feel free to mix and match at that pitcher position just in general. Then we're going to move down to first base with Freddie Freeman. He's $4,400, averaging about 15 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the Los Angeles Angels, and their expected starting pitcher is Jack Konkowitz. Probably mispronouncing his name once again, but Freddie Freeman has no history versus him in the past, although if we look at what Freddie Freeman's done as of late, it's been really good. 16 out of his last 18 games, he has at least one hit in. He has 10 multi-hit games during that time span, 5 home runs, 10 double-digit performances in 13 games and 9 fantasy points or higher. So definitely do like the floor that he's had as of late. And if we look at what he's done in totality on the season, 362 batting average, 9 home runs, 33 RBIs, once again averaging about 15 fantasy points per game at $4,400. And then we're going to move down to second base with Jose Altuve, $2,800, averaging just over 8 fantasy points per game on the season. And he is going against the Texas Rangers. It's going to be Nathan Eovaldi on the mound. He's done very well versus Nathan Eovaldi in his career, 14 for 34 with 7 home runs. Versus Nathan Eovaldi throughout his career, he's had at least one hit in 4 out of his last 6 games, 2 multi-hit games, 0 double-digit performances during that time span, 0 home runs. Only one game of 9 fantasy points or higher, so the low is definitely there for Jose Altuve as of late, but if he can bank on some of the history that he's had versus Eovaldi in the past, definitely would make a lot of sense at $2,800. And if we look at what he's done on the season in totality, 244 average, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, averaging 8 fantasy points per game. You can play him at either second base or outfield. Obviously, if you don't want to play Jose Altuve, you don't have to, but definitely had to mention him with that history in the past going against Nathan Eovaldi of the Texas Rangers. Then we move over to the opposite end of that game with Adolis Garcia at $3,100, averaging about 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He goes against the Houston Astros, and it will be Lance McCullers on the mound. He has been a little bit shaky so far to start off the year. He's obviously coming off some injuries at the same time as well, but Adolis Garcia, a little bit slower start to the season himself, but in his career versus Lance McCullers, he is 3 for 8 with 1 home run. He has at least 1 hit in 3 out of his last 4 games, 2 multi-hit games during the time span, 1 home run, 2 double-digit performances. So looking a little bit better as of late. Definitely do like the upside of Adolis Garcia. And on the season, he's got a 229 batting average, 6 home runs, 24 RBIs, and averaging just under 9 fantasy points per game at $3,100. And then last but not least, we're going to go down to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. of the Arizona Diamondbacks, $2,900, averaging just over 9 fantasy points per game. He is going against the Colorado Rockies. And the Rockies starter kind of up in the air at this point in time. Kind of looks like it's going to be Tanner Gordon. And if it's Gordon, Gurriel is one of the few guys that does have a hit versus him in his career, although it's really, really small sample size. But 1 for 1, he's on a 3-game hitting streak as we do speak. 3 multi-hit games during that time span, 0 home runs. 2 double-digit performances in all 3 games have been at least 9 fantasy points or higher. So I definitely do like the floor and the potential upside of Lourdes Gurriel Jr. on Friday's slate. And he also has a 229 batting average, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs, averaged over 9 fantasy points per game at $2,900. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have this year, you have $13,100 remaining, just under $3,300 remaining per player. So a good amount of flexibility remaining. Obviously, stacks do play a big part, especially in GPP tournaments. So definitely feel free to mix and match as you do see fit with the stacks. Don't have to play all 4 of these hitters together. Obviously, once again, you can mix and match at that pitcher position as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about those top GPP teams to stack for Friday's slate overall. So we're going to start off with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and like I said when we were talking about Lourdes Gurriel Jr., it's expected that Tanner Gordon will be the starting pitcher for the Colorado Rockies, but still a little bit up in the air at this point in time. If it's Gordon, definitely do like the upside versus him. And overall, I do like the upside, even if it's not Gordon. So definitely do like that Diamondbacks team just to stack in general. Then we have the Dodgers going against Jack Kukowitz of the Los Angeles Angels. No history versus him in the past, but definitely do like the upside of that Dodgers lineup. Then we have the Texas Rangers going against Lance McCullers. Some decent upside there in the past, and McCullers has been really hit or miss to start the young season for him. And then last but not least, we have the San Diego Padres, and it's kind of up in the air who will be starting for that Seattle Mariners team. It will either be Logan Evans or Jonathan Diaz as the two most likely guys, and either way, no real history versus either guy, so I definitely do like the upside of that Padres lineup once again. But with that being said, these are my core picks as well as top GPP teams to stack for Friday, May 16th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then once again in the morning, I'll be listing my early morning weather report that will have any game that does have a double-digit chance of rain or higher. And then I will be listing as many of these starting lamps as I can get to throughout the afternoon and early evening. So definitely be sure that you are checking up on that comment section, especially as we do get closer to lock. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have MLB DFS in terms of the core picks, typically Monday through Friday. Obviously, we did miss a couple days this week. We'll be missing next Monday as well, but otherwise should be good to go for the rest of the week over there. And then I also have my UFL DFS video coming out once a week. That typically comes out on Wednesdays. Some weeks it might come out on Thursday. It just kind of depends on what the rest of the week's schedule looks like. I believe next week it'll probably be coming out on Thursday, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Obviously, the one for week number 8 is already posted on the channel if that's something you're into as well. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you're a brand new user on any one of those 3 sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100, and then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section of this video or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS for Friday, May 16th.